Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Current Cinema. I was trying to get the hey right. Got to get it right for the listeners and the viewers.
Yeah. We'll edit all the other hays out. It'll be all right.
Yeah, well, hey. This is Current Cinema, episode 16. We've been doing this for 16 years. I think that's what that means. I think.
We do one a year. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One time a year we
Thanks
get together.
for sticking around for the ride, everybody. Boy, I can't wait to talk about the creator next year, you know? When we meet again to do this.
Oh my
and we
God.
don't talk about any 2024 movies. We're still talking.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Jeff, joined by Kyle. We are of current gen fame or unfame. I don't know how to phrase that.
Is it in fame?
And because we're not infamous is more like you're famous for a something bad you did, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Like a crime or something like that.
So yeah, that fits then, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're both criminals, so that's we sail the high seas, if you know what I'm saying. It's a piracy joke, dude.
I so sick on ocean, so
yeah, I'm a lake. I'm more of a lake guy myself.
I'm kind of more of a on the beach with the sand guy, you know, in the open water. I don't need all that.
Until I feel a crab, which is about 5 minutes in, then I'm out of there.
And this is really topical. I'm kind of more of a submersible submarine made by a jackass guy. You know, that's my mode of transportation for the ocean. That's a 9-month-year-old joke, dude. So.
Oh man, 2023, what a year. Well, this is not a retrospective. This is actually this is probably the most current cinema's ever going to get, because we're going to talk about the future, dude. The future, brother. And we're going to talk about 2024 movies. And this is just if you've listened to our, meaning me and Kyle's podcast, not Current Gen. If you've listened to us do a podcast before, you've heard us do top 10 lists episodes before. So we're doing that for this episode. It's not a typical episode, and I would say the next episode's probably not going to be a typical Current Cinema episode either. It's another top 10 probably of 2023.
And then we might have an episode where we just totally dog on a dog shit movie for an hour and 45 minutes. So I can't wait for that one too.
An hour and oh my God, we're literally just going to read the chat.
Yeah. You guys
we
are
had
in
a
for
whole
a ride
chat
on that
going.
one. Oh, and if you don't like a certain hack-ass director, don't tune in. Because you're really not going to like that episode.
Yeah. Whoops. This is not a safe space. No, it is. It's fine. It's fine. Like what you like, but also, expect judgment.
But like better things also, you know.
Yeah, raise your
you
standards.
Do both. Like what you like, and also expand your horizons. You know.
Right. Exactly. So this episode is all about our most anticipated. So we're just literally riding the waves of hype. We have no idea. We haven't seen. Well, okay, we've seen frames of the movies that we're going to talk about, but some of them we haven't at all.
Yeah.
Some of them have no trailers. So especially like
some I'm just going off of pure feels.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
or like
directors, pedigree of the cast,
that's all it
stuff
takes.
like that.
Yeah, concept, director, and cast is like a big selling point.
I
would say more than half of mine. Actually, it looks like 7 of mine have trailers, whether they're teasers or full-blown trailers.
Yeah, most of mine have trailers for the most part. Yeah, there's
so that kind of helped. That did help on some level for sure. So yeah, we're gonna just go from 10 to 1 and do we just want to trade one apiece? There's only 2 of us. There's not 3 of us.
Yeah, let's trade one apiece. Are we pushing it? You know, like
should we push it? I'm not gonna play the song. I don't know how to.
No, and I wouldn't want you.
I forgot how to record that.
If y'all don't know the concept of push it, everybody, it's if Jeff says something on my list before we get to it on my list.
Yeah.
I will say push it, and we'll have that one conversation about it later. You know, instead of talking about the same movie twice.
Yeah, instead of repeating each other and just being like, yeah, just like everything you said
Jeff
earlier.
He said he was really excited and liked the trailer. And, I kind of feel the same way about that. It's called condensing the podcast, guys. Which
we'll find a way to elongate it some other way. But let me just, I think the best I can do right now, because I'm not in the mood to figure out OBS. Tim is very patient on that front. I'll just play it on YouTube after some ads. But yeah, so the concept of, I think you just explained the concept of pushing it. So we're going to do that.
Trying to get it. Comes from the famous song Push It Real Good from Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
I'm getting to a good spot in the song to make sure.
Oh, are you actually going to play this? Okay. You don't have to play the song. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it'll just be queued up on my phone and I'll be.
All right, that's fair.
All right. So yeah, do you want to start or do you want me to start? I don't care either way.
Why don't you start, Pam?
Okay. So my number 10, and also before our number ones, we'll go through honorable mentions, time permitting. But my number 10, and it feels weird to have it this low because I'm excited for a John Wick spinoff, but Ballerina, is that a push?
Yeah, no, it's it just fell off my list. So
Gotcha.
very
So there's
excited for that. Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely a reason though. There's kind of a red flag as to why it's not higher, and it's the director pedigree. Unfortunately,
Who's the director?
it's the guy who did, I think, one of the Underworld movies. He's not very good.
Yeah, you
um,
made me very happy that I knocked that one off my list just
yeah.
now.
So
Thank you.
Underworld 1, 2.
I don't hate Underworld 1. I don't think it's a good
Did
movie either.
Blood Wars. I didn't even know there was like a fourth one or fifth one.
Dude, I've seen one of those movies.
Fifth.
It's just like, that's enough for me.
The fifth movie. They did a fifth one. That's unbelievable.
I almost think you're lying because I don't even remember this.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this is like.
I guess I did know there was a third because I know they changed the actress at some point.
I remember the third because it's Rise of the Lycans. It's a prequel.
Yeah.
And they had some of the same actors like Bill Nighy, but like other than that, it was all different people.
I feel like another red flag was this movie feels like it was in development hell, and that could have been COVID.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. It could have been COVID. Yeah, because they started to spin this up in like 2018.
I feel like I heard about this in 2018. Yeah, like way before COVID. So it's like I don't know. It feels like we've been talking about this one for a while. And
we have.
I didn't know it was a different director, so like that's kind of a red flag for sure.
It feels like they were working really hard to I don't know, cast the right people. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it because the schedule is.
Ana de Armas was a hot ticket item for a while, so maybe like her schedule wasn't clear.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't announce her casting until like last year, so they could have been waiting for her the entire time.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where when you're if it's contract related or whatever, where you can't announce your future roles if you're already in the middle of something. I don't know. But the rest of the cast is pretty good. I mean, you have the typical players from the John Wick universe. Like Keanu Reeves is supposed to be in it as John Wick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Angelica Houston, who was the director in Parabellum.
Sure. Yeah, who runs the ballerina program or whatever.
Exactly. You have Lance Reddick might be one of his. It looks like it might be his final.
Oh, he got it in. Okay.
Role. Period.
Nice. Is Ian McShane with his new dentures going to be in it?
Ian McShane dentures. Ian McShane is going to.
Dentures McShane.
Dentures or veneers? That's the new debate.
It's veneers, yeah. Okay. I don't. Dentures may not be right. Yeah,
I don't know how it works. Right. I don't know how it works. I barely work on my teeth at all. Norman Reedus is one of the newer faces.
That's a cool pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
People go, Walking Dead guy, and I go, no, that's Death Stranding guy. So.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still cool in my book.
Yeah, but I expect Ana de Armas. I mean, after her showing on No Time to Die, I assume
with like 2 weeks of training, there was like almost no training for her, so she's got it in her.
Yeah, I definitely think she does too. So I mean, at least there's that, and like, even if it's not the same director, there's got to be some other production people involved that are from.
Maybe it's the stunt
movies, right?
Get some stunt coordinator. Like, then that's what matters is the stunts, right? Like,
yeah, and I
guess I really don't care about how the ballerina gets from one fight to another. I just
do it.
Just do it. Yeah, and whoever vanilla director you need to get to like get us through that. Maybe that'll be fine. Yeah.
Hopefully, Stahelski, Handsome Chad, was able to stay on as producer for this one. So hopefully he was on.
Hopefully he's a hands-on producer. Hopefully,
yeah. That's man. I hope so. Because I look at Len Weissman's filmography and I'm like, didn't like that.
Yeah. And again, like I think Underworld's super entertaining, but it also came out when I was a teenager, and it was really 90% Kate Beckinsale and leather and like 10% like kind of fun action.
Yeah.
So like that's I like it for all the wrong reasons.
He also did Live Free or Die Hard and the Total Recall remake.
Love it, Jeff.
Yeah, don't love the pedigree.
Yeah. Don't love those.
So yeah, that's my number 10. What's your number 10?
My number 10, that may be a pusher, it may not, I don't know. Deadpool 3.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. We're gonna do a slight push on that one.
Slight push.
Thanks YouTube for taking forever to open. That's great.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Only a slight.
Half of comedy is timing, and you ruined it, YouTube. Thank you.
No, the timing there is like such a long delay. Good Lord. So my number 9, and it's also maybe a push, but it's a little low just because, again, it's not the same people involved exactly, aside from the writers, but it's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
It's a slight push for me.
Slight push?
Yeah. Actually, no, that's your number 9?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. No,
so that's your number 9 too?
Yeah, that's my number 9. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I retract the push.
I don't know how to reverse it on YouTube, so I'll just rip, rip, beep, rip, yep. Yeah, I would have this higher if it was like somehow Matt Reeves, or maybe just a more notable director.
I thought the trailer was awesome.
Trailer looked great. CG does not look compromised at all.
No, and I like that we're like further into the evolution of like their society, so like they're
generations later. Apparently.
So it just looks cool in that regard. But yeah, I'm always worried about like new people showing up. And who's the director of this again? What did he do?
He just did something else.
I just remember being like, oh, okay. I thought that he's a bad director. But
he did the first Maze Runner. I don't know if he did all of them. I think he did the trilogy.
I've never seen those movies, and like there was something else that he did that I just felt like whatever about, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like this just kind of feels like the.
I know what it was. So like he was just in the news because they announced him to direct the Legend of Zelda movie, the live action one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why he was in the news. Recently. But yeah, the Maze Runner trilogy is all he has to his name, and that first one.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay,
decent. Like to me, it was decent, and then I don't even think I finished the second one. It's rare that I don't finish a movie, so it's not that I hated it, but I think it was just in my phase of like, oh, what else is going on? Like I just was in that phase of jumping around to a lot of different things.
Sure. Can I do something else besides watch a young adult novel book movie?
Yeah, exactly.
It's an easy one to bail out of if you had to bail out of something.
That and Divergent. I think I watched the first Divergent and I was like, I'm good. Like I'm good. I don't need more. Hunger Games is the only one I keep coming back to, even though it's not. Every time I finish one of their movies, I'm like, it's not like it's great. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like it's like the cinematography, the score, the acting is all good, but the story's like it's fine. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, I missed the whole young adult book craze that like Mortal Machines or whatever that
Mortal Engines I think was
Engines,
one.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them all at once for like over the course of 5 years, and
a lot of them like Mortal Engines and Ender's Game is another that just died.
I actually did see Ender's Game. Yeah,
Ender's Game's good. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I liked it. I didn't watch the I watched the book. I didn't read the book, but I did call everything like immediately, like the ending. But that may have been subconscious because that's such a popular book and twist that surely I had to have heard of that at some point.
I did. It did make me want to read the book after the fact, and I read it, and I was like, yeah, sure enough, it's really good. Like,
the twist is on the poster too. It's not just a game. That's the twist.
There you go.
It wasn't a game.
Why would you put it in the freaking poster?
You put it on the poster. Yeah. I just remember that everything, the last thing about the movie, I was like, I don't get that at all. But when I watched it, I was like, okay, yeah, Asa Butternuts is pretty cool, and Harrison Ford was in it too. So
Harrison Ford. Yep.
Yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, anyway, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think the girl from The Witcher's in it. She's got black hair in this one. The
girl from The Witcher,
the young one, Ciri. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I like her. Yeah. Freya something. I forget her last name.
Freya, something like that. Yep. I recognize some William H. Macy. I don't know if he's playing a human or not. We'll see.
He'd make a good monkey voice, I think, or ape voice. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got a very like
chimp, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, I guess there are monkeys in it too, so I could, he could. Anyways, I think he's got a good voice for doing voiceover. So I could see him being one of the CG.
It's interesting.
Creations.
I wonder if they're building up to like in the final movie is going to be Planet of the Apes proper. Like I think this is supposed to be a part of a new trilogy, and if this is successful, like the other three were. I wonder if they are going to eventually redo the story of the astronaut guy, that Charlton Heston's character.
I think we're building towards that. If they're doing a new trilogy, I think that's what we're getting into. Maybe.
Right, and I wonder if that's like the final movie,
or maybe the second movie and the final movie is about how it all. Wraps up. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But,
how can they coexist? Because they deliberately did Easter eggs in the first movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, they did.
Like the TV in the background of like an astronaut gets lost in space, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think that comes back in some way. I mean, it's really easy to also just go, it's an Easter egg. We like Easter eggs, but like, I think you could pay that off.
They're on such a completely different trajectory. It feels like that. I mean, it's possible though. This guy's name is Cornelius, and I think that was the name of the young guy, the young ape in the trailer is Cornelius, and that was the name of the main bad guy or whatever from Planet of the Apes, right? I thought. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Could be wrong. I don't think I've ever seen the original. I'll be honest.
I've seen just the original. I didn't see the other 17 or however many there are.
Yeah, and then
and by the original, we're talking the Tim Burton one, right? Jeff?
Obviously, the Tim Burton.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Cornelius was his name.
Good pull. Good pull from your Domicile.
Yeah, so I think that was because the whole time I was like watching the original, well, not the original, the Circus, Andy Circus, Matt Reeves trilogy. Matt Reeves didn't do all three of them. You know what I'm trying to say. The whole time I was watching those trilogies, I was like, Caesar's not in any of these, is he?
Yeah. He's not. No.
Yeah, but he's not.
Isn't Cornelius Caesar's son though? Is that right? Or
oh no, never mind. This young chimp's name is Noah.
Huh. Yeah, but Cornelius is in it, right? I thought I remember hearing that Caesar's son was in this movie.
That was announced early on, but I guess it's not. I guess it's totally new. Oh well. I'm along for the ride. I'll be there. I'll be there day one for sure. I mean, the spectacle of those movies on the big screen, whatever. So we're going on to the next, because that was your number 9. So we're going on to my number 8, which was the one I literally just pushed real good, and that's Deadpool 3.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was a slight push from your number 10.
Tiniest of push. 10? Yeah, that was my 10. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a little more excited.
This might be higher. Sure. Usually, I have Marvel movies higher because I do just love.
Yeah.
Just love going and see a good Marvel movie, but like, I'm a broken soul now, Jeff. I just don't have the excitement in me anymore.
And it doesn't help that Marvel has kind of. I mean, it's kind of Marvel Disney's fault. Whichever.
Yeah, it could be.
Umbrella you want to put
also,
under.
when you're like 40 movies deep or whatever, like it's just like, we're still doing this, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're still trying to do the Fox universe, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But I think this is like the first one that like they. I can't remember if they already Fox when they still existed said we're doing Deadpool 3. And Disney bought them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I thought even like Disney's like Deadpool 3 might not be off the table, like when everything was going on, but like then it kind of seemed like it was, and now it wasn't, and now it seems like
it kind of seemed like it wouldn't be R-rated, and now it totally is. And the cameo fest that I'm expecting from this movie, it just like from all the leaked set photos, which I haven't seen them all because I haven't seen them all, pal, because I still want to be surprised by you know. Most of the movie, but I do feel like a lot of the trades, like Hollywood Reporter, whoever, has been like exclusive. Jennifer Garner back as Elektra, and I'm like, stop spoiling it! Stop it!
Cameos are fun, they're fun, like they're better left to be experienced,
Exactly. I'm so excited though, just because.
Me too. I love Deadpool 1 and 2. Like I have almost nothing bad to say about those movies other than boy are they a good time.
And we get Wolverine in the proper suit and like Hugh Jackman back. I mean, I'm so down.
Hugh Jackman, who like was totally not going to ever come back, but like seems pretty jazzed about coming back for this one. So like that has me excited.
It's clear that he's wanted to work with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool.
Yeah, right.
For so long. They clearly had a connection off the first, not to be mentioned, unmentionable X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And then the years of
developed
fake Twitter beef and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Like you don't even have to be in the room with them to know that like they have like so much chemistry. So I'm super into that portion of it. The cameos for a Deadpool movie make sense for me. So load them all up. I don't really give a shit, but maybe stop talking about them.
Right, exactly.
The whole movie, like every third scene, it could be someone being like, "And I'm here too," and I'll be like, "Okay." Annoying in other mediums and things sometimes, but for Deadpool, it kind of makes sense,
Yeah, and especially because that he'll be calling it out in a very meta way.
Right.
Which might be tired to some people, but I still enjoy that shtick.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I'm excited for this movie. I just think that it would be higher if maybe it were like 10 years ago or five years ago.
Even 5. Yeah. It's just the quality is just not as consistent. It's not as there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it were, this would be still a top 5. Like
it is funny that I'm saying all this after really just enjoying a What If episode. That just it feels.
It
and enjoying
like
you and I love Loki, and you and I like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you and I aren't like haters, It's just
it's almost like we're definitely more jazzed and more receptive, or at least we're getting a better output from things that are not as connected to the MCU.
Yeah.
Like What If is clearly not that connected.
But not the ones that were doing that just a couple years ago, during all Phase 4. Like they're just now being like, hey, we got a hold of this thing about not being connected to anything. It took them a little bit though. So.
Right. And then Guardians 3 was not really that connected. I mean, they referenced other stuff in the universe, but it wasn't.
The only thing it was connected to was it felt like a real sequel to their movie, not like a continuation of the Endgame story.
Loki as well. Season 2 was just season 2 to season 1. It wasn't really like let's go through the entire
Monica
timeline.
Rambeau didn't show up on Loki 2 and was like, hey guys, how do I fix this? So it's like
how do I phase through this timeline real quick?
Yeah,
I don't know what that was. That was weird. I'm gonna
And
leave
that
that
was
alone.
Jeff's sassy black cross.
That's terrible.
It was better than mine, which I don't know what I was doing. I just said it a weird voice. So.
Oh boy, cancelable as ever. All right,
Yeah, it's
so
all right.
what's your number 8?
It is Nosferatu.
We're gonna do it.
Wow, god damn.
Yeah.
Jeff loves deeper than I do. That's why he gets to push everything.
It's a longer push.
Oh, play
There
it
we go.
longer because it's longer. Okay.
Because
Yeah,
there you go. That's the logic there.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. What's yours?
so yeah, we're totally gonna talk about it, gush about it ad nauseum. Oh my god, I can't wait for that movie.
Me too.
My number 7 is Drive Away Dolls. This is a Coen Brothers movie, but singular Coen brother movie.
Mhm.
It's the one that everybody was like, oh, that brother retired. Oh no! Like, remember when Tragedy Macbeth came out?
Yeah.
That brother was like, yeah, my brother's done making movies or whatever. He didn't verbatim say that, but that's how publication.
No, I remember. I got the same vibe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the other brother basically, and it's just a Raising Arizona, like, funny, how it looks at least is a Raising Arizona funny road comedy, like just hijinks, crime ensues, Fargo type of tone.
Yeah.
And I'm all about it, dude. Every
That's
time they
definitely
show
my
a
flavor
trailer,
of
yeah,
like
exactly.
silly, goofy crime, maybe crime adjacent type stuff.
Ethan Cohen, that's the other one, and he did not. Yes, so I do have the brothers right. So yeah, he was not a part of the Macbeth one.
Yeah,
so it's almost like the guys
thanks,
just kind of split.
Hail Caesar for ripping that couple apart. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that was them, right? I don't,
yes, yeah.
Okay,
that
cool.
was
Yeah,
the last
thanks,
one together. Yeah,
thanks a lot. Yeah, guys, for doing a movie so bad that destroyed y'all's relationship. And that's all headcanon. I don't think that's what happened.
Yeah, it's headcanon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think one of them hated it, which is representative of like 50%.
Right. And the other one was like, "No, dude, there's a good movie in here somewhere. We got the Han Solo kid. It's gonna be great, you know."
He was great in that movie.
He was actually great in that movie.
Yeah, I feel like everything I see him in, like, we always like make fun of the Han Solo thing, even though we both think he's good in that movie.
Yeah.
But like everything else I've seen him in, I'm like, this guy's a really good actor.
He was just in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, he was. He was like the
movie.
aid to. I don't think he has a name. He's like the aid to Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Yeah, he gets really sassy with Robert Downey Jr. at the end, and I'm like,
super sassy.
I'm super into this.
So I'm pretty sure you can just fire him. Like, I mean, why keep him there? It's so crazy to me.
I'm glad that you talked about this movie. A, I forgot about it, or else I probably would have made my list with some changing around. And
it looks so funny.
B,
dude.
I'm very much into this like flavor of entertainment. Right. So
yeah, because you got like two. It feels like they're trying to establish new. Well, I mean, I've seen them in movies before, but you have Margaret Qualley, who's she's been a Nice Guys, Andy McDowell's kid.
Yeah, she's Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima.
Death Stranding. There you go. Geraldine Viswanathan, who's been in like a bunch of comedies, mainly Miracle Workers, is what I know her from with Dana Radcliffe. Yeah. Like she's the companion to Dana Radcliffe in all of the seasons of that show.
Cool.
R.I.P. that show. That show's very funny, by the way. But like these are two effortlessly funny people that, I mean, you know, if the script calls for it, they can be insanely funny. And then Beanie Feldstein's in this too. So those are like the three leads, and then you have like Pedro Pascal, Matt Damon, like all these people filling in.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus is in it for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, it's like a kind of a Pulp Fiction-esque, you know, story where they have a briefcase that they took that they didn't realize it belonged to somebody powerful.
That's like, again, seen it before.
Yeah.
Excited to see it this way.
Yeah, you know exactly. This way. Yeah. And if you watch the trailer, there's so many laughs in it too. Like
it's a good trailer.
Yeah. Like they got the guy who I think they're going to get their car repaired or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like asking the guy, the attendant, and I think it's Bill Camp who's playing the attendant, and his name tag says Curly, and they're calling him Curly, and he's like, don't call me that. And they're like, but it's your name. And he's like, it's too familiar. And his like Bill Camp voice. It's such a Coen Brothers line. It's so good. Sure. So I'm ready. I'm so excited for that. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is I'm a big animated mood right now because of all those stuff that we've been watching lately. So I had to put Lord of the Rings War of Rohirrim on here.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hope that Lord of the Rings fans are mad that more things that are not directly from Tolkien are being made. And I kind of hope y'all jump into traffic too. So, no
really offense or nothing, but like,
I don't think, and I've seen this before, I don't think Tolkien would appreciate the Japanese doing it in their style or whatever. He had a style picked out and blah. Shut up. I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be really cool and refreshing to see Lord of the Rings through the lens of a different culture and a different art style and everything like that. I'm really excited to see a trailer for it for sure. We've seen some stills and stuff like that, but I think it's going to be coming out.
The stills. That's crazy.
It might be concept art, to be fair. But yeah, or storyboarding or something like that.
This guy did the Ninth Jedi short on Star Wars Vision.
Thank you for bringing that up. I completely forgot to. I had written that down somewhere on that piece of paper that I totally didn't lose. That I was going to bring for a prop, and yeah, I know it sucks. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. So yeah, if you need a kind of an idea of maybe what his style is going to look like, that's a good indicator of probably what we're going to see.
Short.
It's going to be cool. I think this is second age battle, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a huge I love Lord of the Rings, the movies. I've never read the books or done any of the extra stuff, but I'm familiar with moments of Silmarillion and some other of the works of Tolkien and everything. But I'm by no means a professional or.
It's about the namesake of Helm's Deep, so it's like
it's definitely a Helm's Deep movie.
Yeah. Brian Cox is playing. Oh, Brian Cox, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Eowyn is back. Eowyn, Miranda Otto, she's back. That's fun.
Okay. Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for this, man. I think Lord of the Rings is super awesome.
Sorry.
We're getting it next December, which that's when I always watch these movies, weirdly. I think a lot of people do this too. I think they're Christmas movies for a lot of people for whatever reason.
It was actually supposed to come out in April, but then the strike happened, so which tells me that they're in the voice recording process.
Right.
Or they're almost done with it at least.
Yeah.
But they've been animating since like June 2021.
I thought they announced this a long time ago too.
Yeah,
this was announced a long time ago before
this
all
is gonna
the Amazon
this has
acquisitions.
Potential to be something like really special,
before all the Tolkien estate trials like that. This was announced a long time ago. So for it to actually survive all of that and get made, it's resilient. So to me, it means there's probably a good idea somewhere in here.
Right,
it's got to be solid and believed in it. So very excited for that one.
Sweet. So my next, I'm preparing the push song. My number 6, and it's only not higher because I'm scared to see it. I'm scared because of how true it's going to be. It's Civil War.
Yeah, it's a push. Yeah. Maybe leave it on for a little bit too.
Okay. So how's it going? How's your day?
It was okay. I did a lot of errands, but everybody on Earth was outside doing things. So.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I had a late lunch at 3 p.m.
Nice.
And I went to or 3:30, whatever it was, and I went to Raising Cane's, and of course there was a line. I'm like, how is there? Everybody's out everywhere right now.
Yeah.
It's that time.
I thought the whole point of me taking today off was like, no one's gonna be off,
stuff, bro.
I'm gonna be able to do stuff while everyone's at work, and everybody on Earth was off of work today. In Denver. So
for those that don't know, we're gonna peel back the onion, I guess, or peel the onion, or poke the bear. No, that's not the right expression either. Yep. We're gonna do all the things, all the euphemisms. So we are recording this on the Friday before Christmas. So that's why we're like, why is everybody out? Because normally it's the day after Christmas that everybody's off, So it's I don't know, it's kind of annoying. Anyway, so what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Fall Guy.
No, I'm not pushing that.
I think it's a Handsome Chad movie. It's one of the John Wick guys.
David Leitch.
David Leitch, thank you. Yeah, so Bullet Train and
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde. Thank you. Yeah, love
this
guy.
It's an honorable mention. It is one of my 10
Jeff hates it. Yep, we'll have to move on from him
obviously.
Hating it.
And, I can wait. I can wait a very long time.
I like, I am not a Handsome Chad or David Leitch guy. I am a both. I like both of them. I think both of them created, the first John Wick. Both of them are to blame for the success of that monster. And they both went on to do their own separate things, and they're both seeing a lot of major success. And I'm really excited to see this. I love me some Ryan Gosling, and I love me some Emily Blunt. In the trailer, it looks like they have great chemistry, but who on earth has never had chemistry with Ryan Gosling? Boy, that guy's got such a kissable
or
mouth.
Even or Emily Blunt for that matter. Like, man, I really want to hold his hand.
Yeah,
just for experimental.
Not even blacked out there for a second. What did I say?
He does look like he has really comfortable hands. So Emily Blunt,
strong but soft.
Strong but soft.
Okay.
And firm. Emily Blunt, like she did that horrible. Okay, I shouldn't say horrible. Mid Jungle Cruise movie with The Rock.
Yeah.
And The Rock is like his
The one
chemistry
that
with
everyone
people
loved that I was just
is
like, I don't get
so
it, guys.
his chemistry is so dependent on the co-star, and Emily Blunt is like it's just so easy for her. Like
Yeah.
I've yet to see a movie of hers that I'm like, God, she has like negative chemistry with that guy. And if she did, it's because her co-star is just ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two look like they're having fun together.
Well, how sexist of me just to bring up Ryan Gosling and not bring up Emily Blunt too. You're right, because
Well,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That was a joke. But you're absolutely right because
hold on a minute, dude. Yeah.
Hold on, dude. That was just a joke, man. Because Emily Blunt does have infinite chemistry.
Yeah.
You know, like I've never seen her act opposite of somebody, and I was just like, boy, what is going on here? You know,
I want to be friends with her and Bork Ryan Gosling. I don't know how that math tracks, but it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a kissable face, dude. I love it. It looks good. It's a movie. I think it's a remake of a show. Or a remake of a movie, of the same name called Fall Guy. It's about a stunt guy, and I think it's very cool that a famous stunt director and stunt choreographer is doing a movie about something that he'll know so much about. So I think that extra layer of it made me really excited.
That's really
and again,
rad.
I'm such a major sucker for like Bullet Train and Atomic Blonde and stuff like that.
Dude, me too.
I just love movies like this. This looks like it's gonna have a little more meat on the bones, you know, where like Bullet Train's just like, how do we get, Brad Pitt into another, fight or whatever? We'll have some funny ha-has in between it or whatever. This seems like, there's maybe a relationship story a little bit between the two leads, a little more things going on.
I'm not really expecting a lot of depth there at all, honestly.
Well, I guess my point is that it's not a pure action movie. I see what you're saying. There is a script. There is going to be more stuff going on other than just and then fight scene.
And then fight scene, and now there's another fight scene. Yeah.
Not to say that there's going to be amazing character depth or anything like that. Just not just pure fighting. So it's just try a movie like that.
Yeah, this is a night one, day one, whatever movie for me. I'll be seeing it for sure because I've seen the trailer like a few times now before ahead of other movies. Freaking beer hiccup. Sorry. Yeah, it looks super fun, and I'm so happy that the hot Goss, is being so inappropriate towards Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I know. I like how I have joked about being sexist earlier, but we're really objectifying Ryan Gosling right now, like in a really weird way, very aggressive, weird way.
Very aggressive. Oh man, I want to take him on a picnic and just take things slow. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I just want him to call me friend, and if things escalate, which they will, because come on, great.
I just want him to compliment my singing voice, and I might cry and melt in his arms. I don't know. Verdict's still out there.
I'll ask if I can call him Seb.
Seb. Anyway, so he's I'm glad he's embracing this comedic side of his career. Not that he's never done it before, but because Nice Guys or whatever.
One of the most
Barbie
underrated movies
just
of all
came
time.
out. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites of all time for sure.
Same, yeah.
But like Barbie just came out, and so he's doing another type of silly whatever
ha-ha movie. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like another what I would say Ryan Reynolds type of role.
Yeah.
Where he's in it to have fun and I guess that other movie that the Russos did, he's kind of funny in that too. He's got some funny moments. Similarly named
Gray Man?
The Gray Man, yeah. The Fall Guy and the Gray Man. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's really coining his
he's a guy man.
His guy era. He's a guy man. His guy man era of his career right now, yeah.
He's in the Ken era. It's very real. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that. So my number 5 is, I wonder if we're going to synchronize because we don't have a song for it, but sometimes we celebrate it. My number 5 is Mickey 17.
Wow, holy shit! How did you pick up on that? That's so weird. Yes, that is my number 5 as well.
Because I looked at what was left and I was like, "There's no way."
Oh yeah. It's kind of a yeah.
I think our number 2 it just depends on where. I don't know. I think we're gonna have number 1 and 2 like the same, identical, but just the placement depends. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, and I haven't heard you say another movie yet, so I feel like that's gonna be there too. So
yeah, it'll be. Well, it's not. So Mickey 17. For those that don't know, because they're obviously this is one of the ones that we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
That there's been nothing like Lord of the Rings.
There's one picture of what's his face, Pattinson,
Robert Pattinson,
like in an MRI or something, whatever, in like a tunnel of light or something.
But this is the next Bong Joon-ho movie. Who, last time we saw him make a movie, he won Best Picture. So Hopes are high from everybody at this point, but it is a sci-fi movie, and he does really good sci-fi. So I mean, like I loved Okja. Okja. Snowpiercer was fantastic.
Snowpiercer rocks so hard, dude.
Yeah. But he's also extreme, like Parasite showed us, which is more of a dark comedy, but there is drama there. And Memories of Murder is freaking awesome. It's like a crime drama.
I still want to see that. Yeah.
It's so good. But like, so he's good at the drama stuff too, equally. So like, this is like a high concept sci-fi movie.
The second I heard all of those ingredients, it's like, well, Bong Joon-ho, he's gonna do he's gonna have a Robert Pattinson led vehicle movie, and it's gonna be hardcore sci-fi. And I'm like, okay,
yeah, exactly,
sure, man, I'm all in on that. Yeah.
So Pattinson plays Mickey, who's like an expendable, which is like quote unquote, who is a disposable employee on a human expedition sent to colonize the ice world Niflheim. Which is, I know that from God of War, dude.
Well, we play God of War, dude.
And it's basically like a clone type of movie where like after one dies, another one is born.
A little moon, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of moon echoing.
Kind of. Yeah. He's gonna thank Duncan Jones for this. No, but like the book apparently is not. It's like a year old. So I wonder if the book was like.
Oh, it must have been
written in tandem or something. That's very interesting.
Or, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Huh. That's wild.
It says based on the 2022 book. I'm like, what?
How does that work? Yeah.
So that came out in February, and immediately Bong Joon-ho was like, I want to make that. Let's do it now.
Okay. And moved on it like that the week after. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's not only Robert Pattinson, though. Stephen Yeun coming hot off of Beef. And he was in Minari, too, I think.
He's killing it in Invincible right now, season 2.
Invincible, he's fantastic in that. Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo. Oh, my God, dude. Him in Poor Things.
Yeah, is he great?
So unbelievable.
Yeah. That guy's a great actor, man.
Everybody's hitting it out of the park, but that one especially, he's like able to do his.
It's so funny because like
so funny.
I really like him as the Hulk, but he's so overqualified for that role.
Yeah, he really is.
And he's so incredibly
overqualified. Like he's asked to do. Don't get me wrong. He brings some humanity to the role and depth and stuff.
Yeah.
For what the role is, but he's asked to do so little compared to like Zodiac. And like compared to like
exactly
compared to especially Poor Things where he is just being so goofy. So we don't know anything about this. Is supposed to be coming out in March. I feel like we should have seen a trailer by now. But WB is kind of holding their cards close to the vest. But I'm
they're in the middle of acquiring everything, Jeff. They don't have time to show trailers. So
once they get Paramount and become Para Brothers.
Warner Mount.
Warner. It's so terrible. Maybe we'll see something from it, but otherwise
couldn't be more excited for that. Yeah, I am breaking my theater rule to go see that one.
Oh yeah, I have not been enjoying the theater. I've been having Kyle-esque experiences at the movie theaters lately.
That's
where
because
people
animals go to the theater, Jeff. Animals do.
People are just
people who just show up and just don't have any sort of idea of how to act in public. It's crazy.
It's more annoying for me. Like if it happens at a movie I love, that I'm excited to see, it's gonna get shut down. For me, I'm gonna go to staff right away and be like, you need to get these people out of here because I'm excited to see this movie and they won't shut up. But
that's very
happened to me. It happened to me at Wonka, and I was like, well, I don't give a fuck about this movie. So
sure, okay, so there's a line. Yeah, I just have extreme social anxiety, and like I'm like, I don't want to go bother anybody about me being bothered right now. And then even though it's my right, anyway, so it's my right to do that, whatever.
True, it is. You're totally,
I'd rather just be socially acceptable for me to just like, I don't know, throw my phone at the back of somebody's head, and then they're like, well, he was talking. Everyone's like, oh, okay, it's not assault then,
Yeah, exactly. I just want it to be okay to like slap them. We should be owed a slap.
No one needs to be hospitalized over it, but like, you're not gonna forget it. Like, dude, I was talking my ass off, and someone threw a phone at the back of my head. I won't do that again, And everybody in the theater cheered after. It was so weird,
everybody clapped, and then somebody gave me a blowy during the movie. It was crazy.
Why he got rewarded for that behavior? Dang it, that sucks. That didn't go the way I wanted.
Everybody cheered during the blowy too. It was crazy.
We were all watching. You're pretty good after all, guy. You're pretty cool.
Anyway, what's your? We're on to my number 4 because it's that was number 5 for both of us, right?
Yep.
So this is where I have Nosferatu, which we had pushed real good.
That was a good push.
It real good. Push it earlier. This is the next Robert Eggers joint, and it's a remake, of course, of Nosferatu, which there have been tons of remakes of by this point.
I have never seen any of them. or the original.
Me neither. I haven't seen. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
told
might watch the original
like,
before
dude,
this.
trust me.
I
You're
know
gonna
it's
love
like the thing, like this is the best silent movie ever made or whatever. I know it's like
Yeah,
a pillar in like movie history. Sorry
it's
if
the
you're before
Max Shrek one.
if you're
Yeah,
before a movie before 1970, I'm gonna have a really hard time being convinced
yeah.
to watch you. That's kind of my.
Well, there's that Werner Herzog one. Werner Herzog. From the
yeah,
'70s too. That one
oh, okay.
happened.
Yeah.
People like that one plenty.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they
Oh,
received
nice.
it well, but it wasn't like Nosferatu, the OG one from the '20s, where it's like, if you haven't seen that, what are you doing with yourself?
Yeah, and I do feel that way. Just FYI, just because I'm not into old movies, I am kind of like, oh, kind of imposter syndrome here. I know it's an important movie that everyone should probably see. So
Yeah,
hey, maybe this is the
I'll
push
find
that,
it somewhere, I'm sure.
yeah, maybe it's the push that we both
Okay,
need.
so here it is. Finally, I found it. So yeah, this one we have Count Orlok being played by Bill Skarsgård. This guy cannot get out of weird.
Man.
He cannot get out of weird roles if he wanted to. It's just he's always going to be the weird looking guy in everything.
Yeah.
Which is kind of perfect. I don't know if you ended up seeing Barbarian. I think we talked about it, right?
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
They totally cast him on purpose to be like,
yeah, you're like, I don't trust this guy.
Yeah,
yeah, he plays a bad guy and everything, you know.
Yeah, exactly. They totally played on your expectations and everything.
God damn, that movie was so good.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's one of those movies because I know it's pretty divisive. Where when people are like, oh, I don't like that movie, I'm like, boy, you just have weird taste. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how anyone could not watch. Like, it's one of those movies to me. Like,
yeah.
it totally blew my mind when I was watching it.
Yeah, same here. I love that movie. Don't get me wrong, Bill Skarsgård is no saint in that movie, but I kind of understood the choices he was making. I'll be honest.
He's like no bad guy either, though, right? Like I don't remember him being.
He makes some pretty. Oh no, I'm thinking of Justin Long's character.
Yeah, no, Justin Long is a totally problematic, got what he deserved. Yeah, character.
Yeah, but Bill Skarsgård, they play
very bold of the movie to be like, this is your main character too. That like you're not rooting for, but like you're kind of like, well, I don't want all this stuff to happen to anybody. So you know, it's weird. The movie really makes you feel weird about like, you know.
And that's from a Whitest Kid You Know guy. Like that's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what he does next. I think he already signed on to do another horror movie. I can't remember what it is.
Well, I think he had like a bidding war for his next script.
Yeah,
like, it was so
he was like
hot,
he was so hot like Jordan Peele basically after
Good
Get Out.
Golden Ticket winner. Yeah, and it is kind of like that to me. It is kind of art house horror in a way. So
this one's surprising me. Nosferatu surprising the most to me is that it's a Focus Features movie and not an A24 movie.
It does seem like an A24.
It's interesting because the last time doesn't somebody major own Focus Feature? Yeah, Universal. So the last time Robert Eggers did a movie was The Northman, which you and I both freaking adored.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was like a considered a major studio movie, and it didn't do very well, even though people that saw it and loved that type of stuff loved the movie.
Dude, how the fuck did that movie not do well?
Like, that movie is amazing. I remember everybody feeling so hyped after that.
Yeah, I showed that movie to no less than 6 people, and they all came back and they're like, "Dude, thanks a lot for that recommendation." I go, "Yeah, man." Like,
how do you turn away from that ending and just go, I don't know.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, dude, that movie didn't need a volcano, but volcanoes make everything better.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. That's a movie fact, guys. If your movie's struggling and you throw a volcano in at the third act, you're going to pull that movie out of the hole, man. You know? So this movie needed no pulling out of any holes, which is very sexual sounding.
Yeah,
that movie is fantastic. I also like The Lighthouse by him too.
I love The Lighthouse.
I've never seen. Is The Witch worth going back and watching? Like, is that?
Oh yes.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if it was one of those movies where, like, when people came out, like, oh, this is pretty good. It's like,
if you like the language in The Lighthouse, it's cool to see the origins of why he was so obsessed with that in The Witch, because The Witch does have that old English style of talking as well. But not to the level of The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse goes even deeper down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, The Lighthouse is one that I understand when people are like, I don't know about that one. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Did you see the fart scene though? Because the fart scenes are great.
Yeah, I get a lot of like, it's just so weird. I go, yeah, that's what's likable
kind
about
of the
it.
thing.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And that's what I'm expecting here is that he's gonna take a hardcore classic and inject his like patented weird into it, which I'm hoping that is the case. I think he
cast a bunch of people that this is a great cast, by the way.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult, who was just announced as Lex Luthor, and he was great in the appropriately titled The Great on Hulu, which was I think that was just canceled, but it was a fantastic show, and he's such a great dickbag in that. Lily Rose Depp is in this. That poor girl after The Idol. Oh my God, she was not the problem with that show. Let me tell you.
Oh, okay, that's
she's
good to
quite
hear.
good.
Who was it? The Weeknd?
But like when I
Was he the problem?
I wonder.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna like keyword search audio of people talking about The Idol and be like, try to hunt me down after if I talk about it. So
well, your show
seems like that kind of person.
Yeah, your show sucks.
But like Lily Rose Depp, when I saw that casting announcement, I was like, yeah, she's got the look for a weird movie like this. Like she's got like a horror movie look, something about her.
Yeah, right.
You got our favorite of the podcast, friend of the show, Aaron Taylor Johnson. We love his work. Almost completely.
All of it. Never have not.
Especially Craven. So excited about Craven. We're going to talk about that.
I'm really excited to watch him struggle through a Russian accent for an entire movie again. Remember how we already saw that already? Remember? Yeah. We already got that.
See that
yeah, you didn't see that coming.
Comrade, sit down. Let me show you my powers.
But sister. Whatever. I'm out.
I am super fast. Mine's like a Cookie Monster blend. That's my impression of Aaron Taylor Johnson's Russian accent. Anyway, Emma Corrin, who we just saw in Murder at the End of the World.
Which one's she? She Darby?
Yeah.
Oh, I like her.
Darby, yeah.
Cool.
She's great. She also played Princess Diana, young Princess Diana in The Crown.
Oh, okay.
And then,
okay, cool. Good for her.
Friend of current gen, Willem Dafoe, rounding out the cast.
Which I heard, I think we talked about this, that they shot a musical scene for this movie with him in it with 80 live rats on set. Or
that was this movie?
It was like 200. It was like I don't know why I said it. It was like 200 live rats on set or whatever. Yeah. I don't know why, but I'm like, yeah, it sounds weird.
He's so down the call sheet on the cast that that's probably his death scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably like the first guy that shows up. Like you see the movie from his point of view in the first act, and then he dies at the end of the first act.
I don't remember.
Oh, that was the intro.
I don't remember there being like musical sequences in the originals, but I also haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So.
But he's just coming off of. We just talked about Mark Ruffalo, and I think I'm still in my obsession phase with Poor Things. But he just came off of Poor Things as well.
Also was in The Irishman. I was like a very zany, not Irishman. Oh my God. The
Lighthouse, right?
Yeah, but the other one, the Viking, Northman. Where he plays a crazy like shaman character in that one too.
I forgot about that because
he,
even for him, it's a weird look. Like
Eggers is just like, I need a guy who's gonna ramble for a little bit, and be crazy looking, and like he's used him
off the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and then he's used him like 3 times in that kind of role, and I'm super here for it. He's always got a role for our friend of the show, William Dafoe.
Always in everything. So yeah, I'm obviously really next level excited for that. Night one, no question. Maybe even a couple nights. Depends on how slow it is. If it's a slower movie, even if I love it, I'm like, I don't know about the theater again, dude. I can't. Like,
It also depends on if he's gonna be like, and I made it 3 hours too, and it's like, Jesus Christ, okay, yeah. Even though I'd watch it,
That was the thing with Oppenheimer for me. Where like that's still my favorite movie of the year. All these months later.
Yeah.
And when it was in the theaters, and it might still have another run coming for the awards push, but like, I'm still like, but it's 3 hours though, and I have other stuff to do.
Same,
I don't want to go somewhere, I want to pause it and watch it again, like when I watch it.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, what's your number 4? We're on Quattro.
And maybe it's gonna get pushed. I don't know, unless you just suddenly hate this guy. Alien Romulus.
Yeah, it's not on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's an honorable mention.
Okay. Big Noah Hawley. Noah Hawley. Okay. Fan.
Oh, this is different.
Oh wait, what is?
Alien. You're talking about the show, the TV show.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Who's doing this movie then?
Fede Alvarez. He did the Evil Dead.
Oh no, I'm still in. Okay, I'm still okay with that.
He did the 2013 Evil Dead, and he did Don't Breathe, which I actually really liked.
Yeah. Both those movies I really like. Yeah. No, this stays then. A little less excited now that I know that these are separate things. Yeah, that's a shame. This is gonna be good. I like Alien. I don't think we've gotten a good Alien movie in like 40 years. But I'm open that someone can pull it off. I classically and maybe cartoonishly don't like Prometheus and don't like Aliens Covenant. I think those movies are. I think I feel about those movies how Star Wars fans feel about Star Wars. I think
that's like for us. That's like the Last Jedi of the Alien franchise.
Good frame of reference. You're like, boy, that was really smart. I'm like, yeah. If you're dumb, I guess. There's smart movies. Yeah.
Smart if you're dumb. That's
Yeah, I guess if you're really stupid, I guess those movies give you a lot to chew on. But yeah,
a hell of a
anyways, I
comeback.
guess
Yeah,
we don't have to.
dumb.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to be too mean about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for that. I do like Alien, the Holy Aliens franchise. I think 1 and 2 are a couple of my favorite movies of all time. I make plenty of excuses for Alien Resurrection, even though I think it's a dog shit movie. I think it's very entertaining. And I think there was a third one. We don't talk about that one. Yeah, and Aliens versus Predator, just dog shit. So it's just, yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten a really good Alien movie, and I think that I'm gonna put all my hopes in the basket that Freddy Alvarez can take his like patented horror and reclaim Alien as like a horror franchise in a way that like longtime fans can celebrate it. Like I do have a lot of like hope for this one for sure.
Isn't it funny that the Predator franchise is not doing that bad compared to Aliens movies?
But only recently though.
Yeah, true. But like Predator had like Predator 2. That might be his like worst movie, even though it's not. A lot of people still like it.
I like it, yeah. But there are problems with it.
But like Predators with the Adrian Brody one.
I forget about that
people
one.
Like that one.
I do like that movie. Yeah, that's my Alien.
The Predator's the one I don't like, but I mean, it was still kind of liked by quite a few people.
Yeah.
And then Prey, of course, is like incredible.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right. I set myself up for that. My bad.
No, I love that movie, and yeah, it would be really cool if we got kind of like Prey hit really big, and then we got an Alien movie that hit really big, and suddenly we're living in the '80s again, where these movies are killing it, and times are good, and the cocaine is flowing, and the whatever other '80s references there.
Other '80s references.
Yeah. The
Neon
Eagles are still playing
in like white jackets with roll-up sleeves,
denim jackets and gel hair.
Yeah,
denim. I do actually want to take a break to talk about Venom 3 and
oh good. That
how
is
excited I am about that movie. No, I am. Okay, let's
excited about that movie.
Yeah, Aliens. Yeah. I hope. I hope it's good.
My number 3. Get ready. I know this is gonna be a put. No, it's not gonna be a push. My number 3 is Inside Out 2.
Cool. Oh yeah.
I trust that our top 2 are going to be identical, either one way or the other.
I think you're going to be surprised.
Okay.
You're not.
I think you're gonna hang up the phone because it's going to be the same conversation. But yeah, Inside Out, the first one is, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Like it always goes in and out of my top 4 on Letterboxd, like constantly, because I love editing that
it's
top 4.
Top couple for Pixar movie. I'm like, I actually can't think of which Pixar movie I would like better if that's not number 1. So
right, other than like
maybe Toy Story
and anything that's equally like existential, like Toy Story 3 or whatever. I'm just all about movies that are about like the complex
emotions.
Yes, exactly. And like breaking it down to the point where any audience can appreciate it, because even adults need to be reminded from time to time that it's okay to feel certain feelings at the same time. Like if you're sad and happy, it's bittersweet, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. You're fine. We'll be okay. But yeah, the second one, it sounds like there's going to be more, not obscure, more feelings that certainly more complex feelings at play. Like I think the trailer showed anxiety only, voiced by Maya Hawke. But she said something like, "Yeah, there's more of us," and then it did the title card. So we don't know yet what other emotions are going to be at play. But I assume it'll be more related to modern problems with mental health, like things that are more kind of discussed openly, like anxiety, depression, stuff like that. Maybe that's my hope, at least, is that stuff gets shed a light on it. So it's not so, I don't know. It shouldn't be taboo at all anymore. But for some sections of the world, it still is.
Yeah, it's less taboo than it was when we were growing up. But
yeah, it definitely was.
We still got a long way to go. There's still kind of like a you're going to therapy type of mentality for a lot of people. But
right, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we're in a place where you can like tell a really complex like feeling or emotions type of movie for kids. That's really good for kids, and the generation that maybe didn't get those conversations like ours get to take a really big message from it as well.
Yeah, because we're in that generation of like people that are older than this generation behind us, and people that are like our parents' age, whatever generation that is, boomers, I guess. they didn't really have those conversations that much, and if they did, it was kind of like,
yeah,
they always called their doctor their shrink, and it's always like some type of exchange of prescriptions and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
always
More about
something a
getting
little more
pills
severe.
and getting advice.
Yeah, it's always about something a little more severe, clinical, and now we're in kind of more of a nuanced age of mental health
Yeah.
awareness and stuff like that, which is fantastic. I'm pro counseling as well.
Big time.
Um, but yeah, these movies are basically therapy for people that don't go to therapy. So I mean, on top of being therapy
right.
for people that do, but like I mean, I'm just saying like people gonna get like a peek into the window of what it's like to I don't know,
Right.
talk out those emotions.
It only makes me happy whenever I see movies touching on things that like we could have used the message of during our generation. And whether that be like race or mental health or whatever, I'm always glad that I'm like, hey, we're teaching people stuff now.
I think I mentioned this on other podcasts, but my experience seeing Inside Out, the first Inside Out in the movie theater, was like, it was a sold out showing. It was still that time of, still that time in the public, whatever you want to call it, where everybody was like going to movies all the time.
Yeah.
It was
Those
still
were the
like
days.
selling out. Yeah. So it was a sold out showing, big theater, a lot of people, big theater. And I was seated next to a bunch of like high school kids. And hey, everybody shut the hell up and watch the movie. It was crazy. Remember those days?
Wow. Yeah, I
but
don't, because I have grown ass adults who can't do that now. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. But these these were like clearly high schoolers. I recognize their age. They were maybe juniors or something like that. Dudes, all dudes. I think a couple had some girls with them, girlfriends, girlfies. And you get to like the emotional core of the movie near the end where she finally like cries, and she's been stifling a cry the whole movie, but she cries in front of her parents and tells her what she's really feeling, and they're all a mess. Like everybody, and I can hear parents behind me like that are older than me crying, and like I hear a kid being like, "Mommy, are you upset?" Like it's like,
love it. That's so good. So,
like everybody was just an emotional wreck at the end of the movie.
I did not watch this movie in theaters, and when I watched it at home, my first thought was, while probably crying really hard, man, I'm glad I did not go to the theater to see this, like, because I got to work it all out from the comfort of my bedroom, So
happens to me at different points now. I remember people telling me after I saw it in the movie theater about the Bing Bong thing being really upsetting to them, and when I saw it in the movie theater, I was like, yeah, it's bittersweet. I was like, whatever. And now I cry more at that.
Yeah, that part haunts the shit out of me. There's a lot of parts in that movie, and by the time it was done, it was just so like I was like, boy, that was just so fucking beautiful. Like
I still catch the jokes. Pixar does this really well when they have writers that are really good at world building. The jokes in between about like the dream jokes and stuff like that. You'll catch one-liners, especially if you have the subtitles on. You'll catch like little one-liners that extras are throwing.
Yeah, there's the in-your-face ones, like the train of thought, but there's all the other ones that are happening in between, like the obvious ones that are only there for your repeat viewings. It's so clever.
This one's they do that really well in this movie in particular, in the first one. But then there's like that whole gum commercial. This one's more on the nose because they do it repeatedly, but the gum commercial jingle, I think it's a gum commercial, where it just pops in out of nowhere in everybody's brain. Even when they go into other people's brain, they hear the song and they're like, God damn, where does sound come from? It's funny how it pops up.
Burrows deep into your psyche.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited for 2, even though like Bill Hader and I think Mindy Kaling could not come back. They just couldn't reach an agreement with their paycheck because they're more successful now. Like they're not.
Yeah.
Bill Hader especially, like
Mindy
he wants to be paid like a lead. She's like a creator writer now. She had a big deal with her show.
Which show? Oh, the Mindy Project.
The Mindy Project, and I think she's been putting her name on a bunch of like creating.
I like her. That was not a criticism, FYI. I haven't.
Yeah, but she's just not everywhere.
Yeah, I just haven't seen her in a long time. Yeah.
It's just she's behind the scenes on a bunch of shows, so she's like, you need to pay me a lot because I don't have time.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense to me.
But yeah, Bill Hader's just kind of like I kind of get him being like, you should pay me like a lead actor salary here. Like this is crazy, and they could make it work, but I think it'll be fine.
Sure. Yeah.
It'll be weird, but it'll be fine. Anyway, that's my number 3. What's number 3?
It was a push from earlier. It was Civil War.
We have identical top 2s. They could be in different places though. We'll see.
Yeah, you might be surprised, man. I got a couple Disney movies I'm really excited for.
Wish 2.
Yeah, no, I'm. We still haven't talked about Venom yet. We still haven't talked about so many movies. Civil War. We push. This is the Alex Garland joint. I am
Bad Boys 4.
Sucker for this movie. Yeah, Bad Boys 4. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, God, yeah, no. The wheels are falling off, guys. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for Civil War. I think I was hesitant at first when it was like, well, it's going to be a movie about Civil War. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I saw the trailer, and if anything, the trailer made me more excited. I was like, oh, this looks
Yeah.
really haunting.
Yeah.
The cast looks great. I love everything this guy does.
Right.
Yes, even men. I think you're a big men fan as well.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a big fan of men.
We love men here on this podcast.
Love men. Love men.
It's such a good movie. I will die in the hill that Dread is like the most unfairly not talked about movie of all time, which he wrote and then pretty much directed, but didn't have his name on it because of some weird falling out with the original director.
Yeah. That's what all the cast has been saying. Like, so everybody's saying it except for
Carl
Alex
Urban
Garland.
says it's an Alex Garland. Like, he was the one who was directing us in that movie, and it's like, okay, it sucks that his name that wasn't on the poster.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, I like all of his stuff. Ex Machina, Annihilation is in my top 3 favorite sci-fi movies of all time. Just watched that movie again like 3 weeks ago, and I was just like, oh, boy, this is such a movie. So I'm really excited for this movie. Obviously, this is not going to be sci-fi. Even Men had some kind of fantastical, like, whoa, this is getting weird.
Yeah, that was like a folk fantasy horror.
Yeah, folk fantasy is actually a perfect declaration.
Because there's something about it that's like felt European and folk.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and it's not just because everyone was talking in a British accent. It was
hello, I'm a man. That's for true.
I'm a man. Watch me be born. Yeah, it's an inside joke, I guess. But yeah, I think this movie's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be super grounded in terms of, again, none of the weird stuff, but it looks like a military epic. Like, it looks like a huge sprawling. We're traveling across the United States to learn something.
Dude, this played in front of a movie I just saw. What was the movie I just saw?
Poor Things?
No, the one from like the Iron Claw. So the trailer for this, because they're both A24 movies. A24 biggest budget A24 movie I've ever seen a trailer for, by the way. This is insane. But there's a shot at the end which you don't really get a true scope of until you see it at a movie theater of Washington D.C. and how you see like a helicopter flying in. Yep. And then if you look in the background, you see like, guns like shooting upwards at the sky, and like things are on fire. And I'm like, how did A24 foot the bill for this? Is crazy. It's so bananas, dude. I'm excited, the scope just looks utterly insane. And have you seen the map for what the U.S. looks like in this movie?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so you have Texas as its own country. You have California or republic, and California is its own state, republic, whatever, too. And then you have like a western states, and then there's like a western states which extends all the way to like DC and New York and stuff. And then above that is like the northern United States or whatever. I think there's still even the southern area with like Florida and all them. But it's interesting. Like, he's established that lore too. There's an air of discomfort when you watch the trailer. Like, I mean, at least that's how it felt for me. It's like everybody's watching this going, he's like leaning all the way into being an accurate cautionary tale. Like, this is where things are going if we're not careful, type of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's bold, dude. It's gonna be a hard sell, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how people are going to show up for this.
This will not do well in theaters. Men didn't either. None of his stuff usually really do. I'm hopeful that doesn't really mean anything. I think people know Alex Garland's like one of the best in the biz, so it's like, it sucks that his stuff's not selling, but I think he's pretty revered at least. So that's
I totally understood Men.
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, that made sense.
Even the way it was marketed, I was like, who is going to see this movie?
Right. Annihilation made more sense after Ex Machina doing well. And I think it did fine, right?
I think it did okay. I don't remember.
Nah, it didn't. I don't think it broke even.
No, I think you're right, because there are 3 books. And I guess if it did well, they would have kept doing it, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Civil War is definitely like, I'm curious to see the figures on the budget, because it looks, I mean, they're advertising it as an action war epic, and it actually does look like that when you watch the trailer, and it's very surprising. Yeah. But the cast isn't anything to like. I mean, I like all these people. I like Kirsten Dunst, and
I do too.
And
Yeah.
Nick Offerman is the president. I like all that stuff.
That's
that stuff
so
sounds
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons. I mean, he looks
Jesse
great. And it's
Plemons
super
being. I love
intimidating.
Jesse Plemons being in like. This guy's obviously gonna kill these people, right? Mode.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah,
I just like
totally is,
where
yeah.
he's obviously the craziest person. You know, like
He's
in the scene, like,
casually threatening in a very like,
casually threatening. Yeah.
conversational
Oh,
way.
you're American. That's that line
But,
where he goes, "Oh, you're Americans, huh? Which ones?" And like he kind of stares at them. I'm like,
what kind of Americans are you? And it's like a facial scratch.
what kind of Americans are you?
A facial scratch that doesn't. Yeah, he's not really indicating that he's going to kill them right away, but he's kind of like
but
used
you feel
to.
it. You feel
yeah,
like
you
he's
feel
going
it.
to, yeah.
Tension is palpable, like during watching this in a theater, especially because like Iron Claw was not an empty theater. It wasn't sold out, but it was not empty because this is Dallas where I'm at. So obviously people are going to see that movie. But yeah, you could feel like everybody kind of hushed when that trailer came on and like shifting in their seats and stuff. Like, oh, I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to be the only one in the theater on opening night. It's gonna be so
same
good.
here. Same. I'll be looking around. I'm like, nobody? All right. Yeah, all right.
All right, badass. I'm so pumped. Before we do our top two, let's just go through our honorable mentions because I'm predicting it for us that they're going to be identical. Placement might not be identical, but I feel like we're about to talk about two of the same movies back to back.
I love your optimism. Yeah.
Hit me with some of your honorable mentions. I swear to God, if you mention one of them.
My honorable mention for the first one is Dune. No, okay. I didn't really have my honorable mentions written down, but I know of a couple off the top of my head that that I wanted to talk about. I know that there is an untitled Jordan Peele movie that is hopefully coming out in December. I didn't put it here because I'm not putting untitled Jordan Peele movie on my top 10 list. Right. I'm a man of morals. I'm a man of conviction.
What do you think this is? A circus?
And, yeah, I'm not running a loose ship over here, Jeff. Okay. But that's one of mine. Why don't you name a couple while I kind of look up a couple more because they're kind of escaping me.
I do have some musicals that made the cut just because I'm not a musical person, but it's just some of these are like I feel like I should have seen that by now, even as I don't know, just because I have a lot of theater friends and there are some shows I'd like to see. But Mean Girls has a musical coming out and it's got like a lot of the same people from the first movie.
Yeah.
Tina Fey and I know Tim Meadows that earn it. They're back.
Yeah.
But it's a musical
Very
now.
lightly marketing this as a musical.
Wonka wasn't marketed as a musical like at all. And then you walk in and he's
Wonka's a musical?
Full-blown musical. And
it's a full-blown musical?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, I had no idea, and that movie's been out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It's a full-blown musical. Not that the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was not a musical. Like, I mean, obviously we know the iconic songs from it.
They were singing,
but it was more scarce. This movie opens up with him going, "I'm sailing to a land of blah, blah, blah." And you're like, what the hell?
Dude, I'm really glad you said something because if I went into that and didn't realize it was a musical, I probably would have been like, I can't handle this. Like,
no, you would have to be
not
top 15 high watching it.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Will Sasso. Yeah.
But Mean Girls is one, and you're right. Like I just saw a trailer again before Iron Claw, not the right audience. Before the Iron Claw, where
cater that better, man. Yeah.
What are you doing? Where they were just like showing them being Mean Girls or whatever in dialogue, and it was very funny dialogue. And then every now and then you'd catch a flash of a musical sequence, and I'm like, I recognize a musical sequence. I've seen a musical before, but everybody watching it's probably just like, that was weird, you know, like they have no idea. The trailers just keep saying in a new way, seeing Mean Girls or whatever. So I mean, I know it going in, whatever. And then Wicked's finally coming out as a movie, and I've never seen that musical, and that's one that's like
I know all the songs because I dated a girl who played the Wicked soundtrack in her car.
Yeah.
Only. It was the only thing.
Sounds like we dated the same girl. No, that was an epidemic when we were around that age when that came out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was.
Because I was the same. It was the same for me. It was like around 2005 or 6.
I almost kind of loathe it, just to be honest, how many times I've heard the songs. But I've heard the same thing, that it's a fantastic musical. So.
Yeah. Totally different. Well, actually, I do think Idina Menzel is actually back for this. That was the role that kind of defined her. That Rent kind of defined her Broadway career and gave her a lot of awards, and now she's in everything. Well, at least she's in Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, pal.
Adam Sandler. He's the spaceman, pal.
He is in a new movie coming out.
Who the fuck is hiring 60-year-old astronauts
Yeah,
All right,
I
because
know.
that's how old he is. Like 55
Well, I
or something
mean,
like that. Like it doesn't make any sense.
expendable. He's expendable, so it makes sense, right?
Oh, is that the part of the story? Is that they're supposed to be? Oh, you don't know. You're just saying stuff.
The
Okay.
teaser was like 20 seconds. I have no idea.
Yeah. I think it might be good. I have no reason to think it'll be bad that movie, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of silly to me.
There's one movie that I include on here that I feel like I've included it almost 2 years now in a row, and it's Havoc. It's the next Gareth Evans movie.
Oh,
Netflix
if
has
I
been
knew
sitting
for a
on.
fact that was coming out this year, it would have been
Yeah.
number one. And I'm not even kidding
Exactly.
you.
Yeah. It's just been so long. Like I think he finished filming in 2021,
Yeah.
and Netflix is just sitting on it, and it's a Tom Hardy action crime thriller.
It makes me so mad, dude.
Dude, I just want to see it.
It makes
bro.
me so
just
mad,
give me the movie. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. And then there's no release date on it, so I'm kind of being bold here, but I think the sequel for X or Pearl, technically, I guess.
Yeah.
Maxine, I think they finished filming last year or this year, earlier this year. And knowing Ty West's turnaround as a director, I feel like it's going to come out.
Whatever the first one was, that's the one I've seen. I liked it.
Yeah, the first one is really good. The second one is such a character study of a horror movie. It's like it's a struggle to even call it horror because it's just like there's so many close-ups and it's more about the psyche of that old lady. Yeah, this one's got a great cast though. Lily Collins is in it, Elizabeth Debicki, Michelle Monaghan, Bobby Cannavale. Everybody's favorite. Giancarlo Esposito plays an agent for the porn industry. Kevin Bacon. It feels like Pearl and X got him on a lot of people's radar.
Yeah,
because like nobody else would have. I don't know. I just feel like if he was just pitching X to those same people, it'd be kind of a hard. Like Jenna Ortega was like the biggest name, and that was because she was in the movie.
And not even when she was hired. Like talk about a happy accident.
Exactly. It just happened.
They were like, boy, that Scream movie didn't suck, and we're really profiting from it. Yeah,
exactly. That's so wild. Anyway, what do you have any others?
I do. Yeah. I'm a big Godzilla Kong guy. I'm sorry to break it to everybody. I didn't love that trailer, but I am excited for these movies all the same. I think the idea of there being another big monkey that they have to fight together is stupid. We're gonna find another giant.
It's like Jurassic World types of we have a new Tyrannosaurus Rex.
This one's wearing armor though, and I don't give a shit. It looks dumb. There's so many cool monsters to like pull from in this universe, and you're making a monkey no one's ever heard of that you probably made up for this movie. Pass. No, I think that movie is gonna be fun though. They're just big and dumb, and big and dumb is sometimes
what I go for. Yep.
Sometimes big and dumb is what we need. I had a couple of Beetlejuice 2, I'm a huge Beetlejuice fan. I'm excited for that one. Jenna Ortega, speak of, she'll.
Yep.
She will be in it.
She thinks she's Winona Ryder's character's daughter in that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place Day 1 could be good.
Let's do it. Yes.
I've liked the other ones.
I'm so game. I think this is hold on.
Miss Lupita, I think, is in this, right?
Yeah, I think this is Lupita Nyong'o, and it's also the director of Pig, that Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, that's cool. Michael Sarnowski.
Sarnowski, yeah, that movie is so good. This has Alex Wolff in it as well. Alex Wolff was the son in Hereditary. How dare you talk to me like that? I'm your mother. Joseph Quinn is in this, the guy who played Eddie Munson in Stranger Things. Jaimin Hansu, Man on the Island. Oh, he was because he's from the island in the second movie, right? Right? Didn't he show up in the second movie?
Yeah, I don't.
Let me look it up. Sounds
I
familiar. Spoilers on the second. Yeah, he was in the island of survivors.
I only remember how stressful the second movie was. That's all I remember about that movie. So good. It's one of the most stressful I've ever been.
Yeah, the ending of the movie, like you have two suspenseful moments happening at the same time to the kids and the parents.
I realized I wasn't fully breathing, and I was clutching my fist the entire time while I was watching it. And it's not spooky. It's suspenseful and really tense and scary.
John Krasinski's got away with that, dude. It's kind of wild.
And I was breathing weird, and I was clenching my fist really hard. And after I was done, I was like, "Oh, ow!"
I kind of feel like it's perfect for the guy who did Pig, because a lot of the tension is very much like.
You can maybe replicate some of that.
Cool. I'm really curious, at least, about Gladiator 2.
I was gonna say I wanted to name a couple movies that I'm interested but worried about, and Gladiator 2 is one of those movies. It's you're doing a sequel to one of the most beloved movies of that time.
Yeah.
And
it's
like
following
a movie that
The Sun
doesn't
or
really
whatever,
need a
right?
sequel, you know, and it's just like this doesn't always pan out well. In fact, historically, they often don't pan out well. So these
Yeah.
types of movies. So I'm interested, but cautiously, you know. So
Such a great cast. But
it
yeah,
is. It
it's kind
really
of like
is.
after I had pretty high hype levels for Napoleon, and I feel like I got burned by that.
Yeah.
I just hope this is you know, Ridley Scott's filmography is kind of a pendulum where you kind of get a bad
You
version
got
then a
Lost
good
Duel,
version.
so you're gonna get a shitty one afterwards.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Next one we might get a good one, but
yeah,
after that,
so
it's gonna
maybe
be,
it's gonna be, especially with the pedigree of like, not that they say yes, not that they ever say yes to bad movies or never say yes to bad movies, but like Paul Mescal's kind of a big deal now in Hollywood, at least in terms of like, and he's got a lot of indie cred. He's a big drama actor.
I feel like that's cred worth.
And then Denzel, Joseph Quinn, yet again, Pedro Pascal, of course.
He's in everything, guys.
In everything, literally everything. Derek Jacobi's a big, heavy hitter in the Shakespearean world and stuff like that. So, proper actor.
Remember when they got Russell Crowe to play a Spaniard in the first one? Those were great.
But he had a tan, so it was cool.
Oh, shut up! It was barely a tan. Yeah,
it was just like
there were other people in that movie who were very tan, and he was not one of them. A couple other movies that I'm interested in, but like from a distance, I like Joker 1 a lot. I think Joker 2 is gonna suck, but like I would love to be proven wrong about that. I think Joker 2 is gonna suck hard, dude.
How hard do you think they'll bury? Because WB did Wonka. How hard do you think they'll bury the musical lead on?
It's
Joker
been
2?
such a big part of the word of mouth already. I think they'll lean all the way into it.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Especially with Harley.
I mean,
you don't cast Lady Gaga and say it's not a musical.
And not Lady Gaga, but the whole part of it being a musical is the part I don't give a shit about. So, and that's the only thing that they're talking about with this movie. So I would love to be wrong. I like the first movie a lot. I like it a lot. I think
do
it's
you think they're gonna add words to the stair dance song? The
no, they're gonna just do it. It's gonna be Harley this time, and she's actually gonna be singing. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Hey, yeah.
We're dancing on the stairs together. Hey.
Yeah. I thought there was another one. I was like,
he's gonna do the. Do you think Joker's gonna be like, hold on, just wanted to get one last good look at you?
Oh man, that's so good. I love that. Yeah, I say that all the time. That line. I want to get another look at you. Another one. I wouldn't say that I'm cheering for, but I like. Maybe you'll agree with me on this. When you're a '90s kid, I grew up breaking my VHS version of Twister. Breaking it.
Yeah.
I watched it
dude,
so many times.
This was in my honorable mentions for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am interested in seeing Twisters, but like the second I see a bad trailer, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I see a trailer and I'm like, oh, it looks like garbage. Like I won't even bother with it.
I don't know if this is gonna help or hurt it, but the director is the guy who did Minari, which was like Oscar nominated and like very heavily praised. Okay. He did episode a recent episode of Mandalorian too.
Oh, cool. Do you know which one?
The Convert.
Was it the Jack Black one?
No,
everyone's favorite.
It wasn't, unfortunately.
The flutist one, whatever her name is, Lizzo. Yeah.
It's the one right after Mandalorian survives going into the depths of the living waters.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I don't remember much of that season. For me. Yeah, kind of does. It's like a long movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twister's like I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic like you are though, because the cast
Daisy
has got
Jones,
a lot of
Glenn Powell. You know, like there's just some names. You know.
Yeah, Anthony Ramos coming off of Transformers. Like, I mean, he's kind of a name now. Mara Tierney was excellent in the Iron Claw, by the way. She plays the mother. Nice. Yeah, these are all like younger names and stuff. Katie O'Brien once again from The Mandalorian and everybody's favorite character from Quantumania. The buff girl. She's in this.
I like her. Yeah. Her. You can throw that one on my honorable mention too. Her buff girl movie with Twilight Girl.
Yeah, really Kristen Stewart. Yeah, Love Lies Bleeding or Bleeding Lies, something like that.
Very 80s, very cool vibe, man.
A24. Cool so vibe. you kind of go.
Yeah.
You lean forward and go, maybe this is going to be freaking cool.
Yeah. What an instant stamp of quality that tends to be.
Yeah, exactly. The last one I have is from the director of. You remember The Harder They Fall?
Yeah.
With not to be mentioned, Jonathan Majors. So
why? What happened?
Mentioned him anyway. He did another movie about Jesus. I can't wait for
Jesus,
this,
dude.
It looks
Jesus,
so
brother.
wild. It's called Wonka. No.
Wonka really a Jesus story?
I mean, Chad's explanation of it on the show Dudesy is not entirely far off, like at all.
Okay. All
By
right.
the end of it, yes, he's literally breaking chocolate with his disciples. But he doesn't have 12 of them. He has like 5 or 4. It's not that many.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an element of that. So like that's the part of Wonka I don't really care for is like where's like the bitterness? Like that's the thing. Wonka had like a duality to him when it was Gene Wilder at least, and Johnny Depp was even more of a cynical version of Wonka, who hated all people. But there was a duality in Gene Wilder's version where he had a warmth to him and he had a bitterness to him, where he's like, if you wrong me, we're done. We're done professionally.
You get zilch.
Yeah, exactly. Good day, sir. They even throw the good day, sir line in the movie, and I'm like, why did you do that? That's
nice. Okay.
Anyway, so this movie is Lakeith Stanfield kind of plays like a guy who's like kind of in the background, watching the Jesus story unfold, and it's kind of like a Life of Brian.
Book of Clarence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like
I've seen a trailer for this. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or I've seen stuff on this. Maybe not a trailer.
Yeah, so you might have seen a trailer because it did drop, I think. And it's kind of like it strikes me as a Life of Brian type thing, but not as Monty Python. But it's super stylish, and I think it's supposed to be like a comedy of some kind.
It came out that way to me. Yeah.
Yeah. But you got David Oyelowo, Alfred Woodard, Caleb McLaughlin. Let's see, James McAvoy, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Who? That's awesome. No, those are huge names. Yeah.
Who? And then the guy who's playing Jesus is a Nigerian actor, and his name is Babs. I'm not going to pronounce the last name, but it's just epic. It's just such an epic name for a guy playing Jesus. I'm like, that is so perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's gotten not a lot of reviews yet because it's only screened, I think, one place. But it's gotten really good positive buzz so far from people that have seen it, and that kind of reminds me of The Harder They Fall. Lots of positive buzz. You see it, you love it, and then the public consciousness is just kind of like, all right, let's move on. Thank you, moving on.
Thanks.
Like it's just bizarre how Harder They Fall. How quickly that movie kind of disappeared from people's I don't know, collective minds. That movie rules, dude. I don't care who's involved in it. It's a great movie. Anyway, now we're gonna move on to our top 2, and my number 2. This is where I put Dune Part 2.
Okay, that's a push for sure.
Oh, okay. So let's just talk about.
Let's just talk about it.
Talk about this one. Okay, let's just talk about this one.
I actually, let me go through my bits real quick. I actually, for my number 2, chose Trap by M. Night Shyamalan. We all know I'm a big M. Night Shyamalan fan.
Hold on, I gotta find my number 1.
Such a big, get a couple bits loaded up.
Where's
such a huge Trap. Jeff, biggest M. Night Shyamalan.
I found it in January. Right? Mine's about to come out. My number 1 is about to come out.
Wow, God,
it's The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham.
Oh man, yeah, you might as well have called it Mechanic 3, but instead we'll call it Beekeeper.
Just kidding, it's Rebel Moon 2.
No, that was actually my next joke, but let's do that. Right? No. I have too many of them, so you need to take some of them. My next one is definitely Rebel Moon 2, Electric Boogaloo. Couldn't be more excited for that one. So we synchronized.
The tears giver because it makes you want to cry. It's so bad.
Yeah. It's exactly what I call my jerk off sessions too. So.
I guess that's a good vamp. I guess I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
And my last one, since we're not obviously gonna talk about Dune at all, is obviously Madam Web. That's my number 1. So.
Oh, cool. Mine's Craven.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, Craven. Wow. Marvel boys. Look at us. Yeah. The real Marvel. Sony's Marvel.
Yeah, we're the real Marvel heads. Yeah. Nobody cares about the MCU anymore. It's all about Sony.
No. Yeah. If we live in an era, and I'm gonna get crass for a second, so I'm sorry, but just know it's a joke. We live in an era where squeezing, what's her face, Sydney Sweeney into a leather suit is not enough for me to go see a movie. That's the times we live in, everybody. Yeah. It's a really scary time.
She's in that movie, that rom-com movie that just came out.
I don't like you very much.
I don't like you, but here's Sydney Sweeney in a bikini. I think that's the full name of the movie.
Yeah.
And even that, I'm like, no. Can't
I
do it.
know. Yeah. Is that?
And I
is
like
that
Glenn Powell too. I think he's in it too.
I do too. I actually like him a lot.
Yeah.
That was one where I'm just like, oh, he's playing the bully guy in Top Gun, and by the end of it, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's great.
And then it was the Jonathan Majors World War II pilot movie that I was like, oh, this guy's awesome in this movie.
He's so good in that movie. Holy crap, man!
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was way better than it had. I went into it going, this is just going to be like a generic
you talked
World
me
War
into
II
it because
movie.
I wrote it off. I was like, yeah, it looks like just looks like another movie.
Yeah.
But no, let's
it
talk
was
about the
good,
good
though.
stuff. You said Dune 2. That's obviously the number one, but we'll talk about it like it's number 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well, then, I could be convinced. 1 and 2 are tied for me. So this is actually my number 1.
Same for me, too. I feel like the 2 that we're about to talk about, like, how blessed are we that we're getting those 2 movies in the same year, That's crazy. Dune 2
you and I do believe in blessings. We're very bless heavy guys. We say that a lot.
The second I said that, I was
blessed.
like, God, why am I just
felt wrong?
A lot of imposter syndrome going on in this episode. Dune 2 I'm really excited for. I'm a big Dune fan. I've read the first Dune book. No, I have not read the rest because I ran out of drugs back in 2000 something, so obviously I can't read them anymore.
Yeah.
Very trippy, very weird, very crazy books, They're definitely for the extracurricular, type of people who want a little more nuttiness with their sci-fi. So we're going to get a lot of that, and we're going to get a lot of battles. And the second half of that book, which I think it's really more of like the last 3/4 of the book, really, is going to be in this movie. I think it's going to be a little longer. I think it's like 20 minutes longer or something like that. Than the first movie. And I think we're just going to see a lot, man. I think it's going to be awesome. There are rumblings that he's going to deviate really hard. I don't think he will. I don't think
he will, unless he.
I don't think he has any interest in deviating or putting a spin on it. And if he does, we might be having a different conversation, at the end of the year.
Unless he deliberately tries to leave it open because I know he wants to do it as a trilogy.
Yeah. And he's already talking about, and I'm pretty sure he said the Messiah script. So it's like, well, if you're adapting the third book, then the first, whatever. If you're adapting the next book, this book has to go exactly how it goes. You know
exactly.
I mean?
So if anything, he might insert a cliffhanger to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch the third one."
Yeah.
That's the only thing I would suspect.
I'm really excited for this. I'm totally excited for everyone to keep on loving Paul as a totally good guy character, because that's absolutely
to
what
continue
he is.
misreading what the story is.
He's definitely just a good guy for sure,
Yeah.
and nothing about that's going to change. It's a 70-year-old book, guys. I'm allowed to say that. I'm excited, man. Like, where are you at? I know, like, you haven't read the books. Dune was kind of like your first foray into that. Like, where are you at? It's your number 2, so you're high. But
this year with Oppenheimer and Killers of Flower Moon has already taught us or enforced the idea that media literacy is pretty much dead for half the internet. Because they'll bitch about, why didn't they tell the story about Hiroshima? Why didn't they tell the story from the Native American point of view? And it's like points of view or whatever. And it's like, first off, this is what the adaptation is. It's an adaptation of this material. And second off, it's in the example of Oppenheimer, it's not called Nagasaki, it's called Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and guess what? Oppenheimer, and what's interesting about him, never went to Japan during that war.
To Japan.
So yeah, believe it or not,
it would have been so manipulative to show any of that stuff from that side of it. And then just.
Well, I think it takes away from the human horrors by showing the actual horrors of the fallout of the bomb.
Right.
Like, you should really be thinking about like the clockwork of corruption that was kind of, or struggle for power and stuff like that was had. Like, that's the real monster. It wasn't. The devastation was bad, but I think the movie was more about like just people losing their way moral wise, in the march to be the best or whatever. So
yeah, the in terms of like Killers of Flower Moon, which I think you're about to see.
I am.
By the next time we
it's
talk,
my weekend
I'm sure.
Watch. Yeah.
There's something about, like, I mean, I understand the point of view of you should have included more of a Native American point of view. I understand what people are talking about, but at the same time, there are people that are saying stuff like, "Why did you make me empathize with Leonardo DiCaprio's character?" And I'm like, that's the biggest misread I've ever seen on the movie. Like, I mean, that is clearly not what they're doing at all. And I feel like Dune Part 2 is gonna kind of be a little bit of that, where they're like, why are we forced to empathize or, like, make this guy look like a hero, this Paul Atreides guy? and it's kind of like you're deliberately misreading everything else that's going on in the movie to frame him that way, so you can demonize the movie. Like you're not even trying to interpret what's being shown to you. You know. So yeah, media literacy is almost expired. Civilization wide, coming soon.
Yeah, no, I think there were, I've seen plenty of detractors for like the first movie and stuff like that. Not even just in our little circle, but like just plenty of it, like elsewhere, even in the Dune groups and stuff. Again, fans hate nothing more than the thing that they're a fan of. So there's already enough discourse there where like if this doesn't make a shit ton of money, which it may not, I don't know, maybe we don't get that third one, which would kind of suck, but like I'm glad we're getting these two because the first book does feel kind of like an arc. Don't get me wrong, it does feel like the beginning of something bigger, but like it does, we will feel like something kind of had its moment. So
yeah.
And I'm already preparing for kind of people who be like, oh, whatever, man. Didn't really care about the first one, so I didn't see the second one. And it just kind of
I think they're gonna either prematurely write it off. The people that already didn't like the first one, which are people that don't care for movies with a deliberate pacing at all. But this one, not that it's not going to have slow moments because it's still a Denis Villeneuve movie and he loves mood and tone a lot.
Which you should too,
Yeah, everybody really should.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best filmmakers know how to use that the best. Like I think Bradley Cooper's Maestro, the biggest complaint I was hearing from people on Reddit was like, I don't know, man. It was just kind of like I was following their marriage. I don't know that I knew anything else about Leonard Bernstein. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what the movie was. That was like, it was more of like a tone thing and more of a following of the marriage and not so much about the guy.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it's like you deliberately don't care about the details that make a movie great. Like sometimes, I don't know. It's hard to cherry pick. There's so many things that, I don't know, could be influencing an opinion. But this one, at least we know from the trailers, at least, that the action's there, the spectacle is there.
I mean, in the book, the book is there. A war happens.
It's a war.
This guy's about to commit jihad on the entire universe. It's pretty dope, dude. We're gonna get into some cool stuff here.
And also, when people were like, Zendaya was just in dreams, bro, she is talking a whole lot in that trailer, dude. She's in the movie a shit ton.
Yeah, she's a big.
You're gonna be like, okay, too much Zendaya now.
She's a big moment and stuff like that, and I'm really interested to see how he's gonna handle her character and some stuff that are going on with her. And you got Florence Poe coming in, you got Austin Butler coming in. I mean, you just got like these.
I wonder if he's going to be like Elvis.
I'll talk like this.
I'm just going to go kill everybody real quick. When he's moving the knife around in the trailer, I imagine him going.
Dude, and I'm telling you, dude, Fade, who he plays, just a great bad guy. We're gonna.
The trailer's already sold that completely, and I don't know much about the character aside from David Bowie playing him.
I know. Yeah, it's David Bowie's character, which is a fun role for him, but that movie's a mess. Yeah, I'm really excited for that movie, man. We don't get sci-fi movies with this big of a budget, ever.
Yeah.
Unless you're Zack Snyder, I guess.
Then you just get a blank check, and even with that blank check, you piss it away to make a director's cut of the movie that's eventually going to suck when it comes out.
Yeah. Okay, it's cool that you got to make a bad movie twice. That's pretty cool for you, dude.
That's pretty rad.
Pretty great. Yeah. Are there going to be 2 versions of 2 as well? So we're going to have 4
and then when they're both done, are you going to release like an 8-hour cut of both movies combined with even more additional scenes?
I would rather slam my balls in a drawer, man.
Yeah.
Same. But I'm really excited for Dune 2, and I hope that it's everything that I'm hoping for, because I am unreasonably hyped.
You know what I can't wait for?
In an unhealthy way, even.
I can't wait for the not a director's cut of this movie, because it's going to be good the way it comes out. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be everything the director intended when it comes out as is. Yeah. Can't wait.
He did it right the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So Dune Part 2 is your number 1, even though it's a Part 2, so it technically should be your number 2. Because numbers.
I like the logic. I follow it.
No, that's not why the logic is there. But I chose Furiosa as my number 1 because of the long wait. Really, that's all it is. Is like I felt like I waited longer.
I think there was a time where I was like, "That's not happening. That guy's 90 years old. You're gonna take him out to the desert, to shoot a movie? Shut up." They did. They took that 90-year-old dude and took him out to a desert, and they shot this movie, though.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That happened.
Yeah, so I am super, especially after seeing a trailer of it, which is, I think it's a May release or something like that. It's the first half of the year movie, I think.
Right. Yeah. And if we can just peel back the onion or whatever we said earlier.
We said
If we
multiple
could
things
just
earlier.
punch a dog in the chest, the adult saying. You and I are ginormous Fury Road fans. Like, you and I saw it together. I think we've both seen it maybe 1,000 times since then.
Yes.
It is one of the greatest action movies of all time. There are moments in that movie where I was watching it where I was like, I've got no fucking clue how they shot this.
Yeah.
Multiple moments in that movie.
And that was like 2015 standards of filmmaking. And now it's different to where you're like, you can do that all in CG. AI can do CG for that. Like, I mean, you can just computerize literally anything. Now you have the volume. You have all these things that you can wrap your head around, technologically speaking. But back then it was like, how
we had to hire Circus du Soleil people to get on poles and do
all these cars are real. What?
We crashed all those cars out there in that desert. Huh? I
think the most believable element was Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron didn't get along, and I was like,
well, you know what? Being in that element, I wouldn't have gotten along with anybody out there.
It sounds like I would be surprised if anybody liked anybody on the set. Like, I mean, it was just one of those demanding shoots.
I do like how he's just like, they couldn't get along, so neither of them are coming back.
How about I cast new people to dislike each other?
You're both excommunicado. No, I think this movie's gonna be great. I thought that trailer was it was on fire, man. That trailer was so on fire. I didn't even recognize Hemsworth. I didn't.
Yeah,
like, honestly,
when they put his name on next to his character, I was like,
but you see him
what's going on
way early in the trailer, you know,
do,
and I was
he's
like,
all over the trailer.
This guy looks kooky, and like it wasn't until the end where it's like Chris Hemsworth. I was like, get the fuck out of here! Like, I actually couldn't believe
crazy,
it.
And you
really
have
excited for that.
Young version of Joe Emerton Joe, from Fury Road. Yeah, because you see his like whatever the thing is, the mask thing, with pipes or whatever
he's
on
the one
him.
who took her, so that makes sense. Yeah,
but you never see. True. Yeah. So, but you never see like who the actor is. I wonder if it's going to be like a Edward Norton moment at the end of Alita: Battle Angel.
Oh man, that'd be so great. Yeah, Edward Norton likes to show up for like weird roles where he's like, "Yeah, I'll play a guy behind a mask in some Kingdom of Heaven movie. That's fine for me. The cast on this looks cool, man. I'm a big Anna Taylor-Joy fan. I think she's great. I think she's so fantastic.
Also, I just love when Miller honors the spirit of the origins of the movie, because at its core, this franchise has always been Australian. George Miller's Australian.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth's super Australian. So I love that he put Chris Hemsworth as the main adversary in this, because I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of like the OG. I think I watched the OGs before I watched Fury Road when that came out for the first time. Yeah. And that first Mad Max is just unbelievable, but it's at its core, it's like the most Australian thing you've ever seen. It's so good.
Yeah, right. I do think they doubled down it in 2. We're like, how do we make this more Australian? I feel like more. It's even zanier and wackier and down under.
It's regarded as up until Fury Road, depends on who you ask, but of course. But
I think most
up
people
until Fury Road,
like that one the best. Yeah.
Road Warrior, the second one was the favorite.
Which I don't know if I agree. I don't know where I land on that argument.
I still love the first one.
Like, I mean, second
behind.
That's why I don't know where I land on it. Yeah. It's either 1 or 2. It's definitely not 3. It's so not 3. Oh.
I went into 3 though, expecting the worst thing ever, and I was like, you know what? I was still entertained. I couldn't believe it.
It is entertaining, but like, it's not one I ever like. I want to watch Mad Max. Like, 3's not on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not on my rewatch list. So
I want to see some more Tina Turner musical numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. She was doing big stuff there. I think she was also in the Star Wars Holiday Special around that time. So.
That's funny.
She does a dance number. And
I watched I will talk about it on the Current Gen podcast, which will air before this comes out. But I did watch the documentary about that. And I still haven't watched the special, and that it was. I was plenty informed by the documentary as to what happened in the special. Like, it was kind of like
it's kind of crazy how crazy that is, right?
Yeah, and they were still able to interview like at least I think almost all the writers are still around, so they were able to interview them for that. So yeah, it was very educational, and some of the people that were interviewed as celebrity talking heads, I was like, why is that guy there? Why is Taron Killam here talking about this? It was so great.
What's Paul Scheer doing here?
It's good. Yeah, it's great though. Energy's there. I love it. And not to bury the lead, back to Furiosa, but like Anya Taylor-Joy is just unbelievable. Like,
she's excellent. Yeah.
So
very excited for that movie, though. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. We didn't get much from that trailer in terms of the action, but like, it's gonna be there. I will say that there are moments of it where I couldn't tell if some things were like completely CGI and not. Right. So I wonder how much CGI there's gonna be, because I actually couldn't. And some I was like, boy, there's some like uncanniness there, but like, never in a weird way. I just honestly, in some scenes I just couldn't tell. So
I forgot that Miller did 3,000 Years of Longing before this.
Yeah, he did.
I think back on that movie now, and I'm like, oh god, that's right. That movie was kind of painful to get through. Like,
yeah,
it's unfortunate, but whatever. At least we finally got.
It's not a Mad Max movie or a movie about penguins. It's probably not going to be great from him. So.
Let me tell you, I'm glad Junkie XL is back to score this. He scored the shit out of Fury Road. It was definitely Magnum.
I want to see the Doof's father in this movie, or I'm walking out.
Yeah, Doof Senior.
Yeah, Doof Senior. Yeah.
I have a friend that does cosplay, also a huge movie nerd. He cosplayed as the Doof at one of the cons that came through Dallas, and I think he's done Immortan and Martin. I never know how to say it.
Complicated outfit, yeah.
He did Joe too, and he makes it all himself. That's what he loves about it.
Super complicated outfit.
Yeah. And I should send you some of his pictures, because he just goes out, and he dresses Pennywise before at one of the It premieres.
Oh, cool.
Looked just like him. Took so many pictures. He was on the Draft House website and everything. Because But so he's probably going into this movie going, what am I gonna make next?
Yeah.
It just looks so freaking dope, dude. I can't wait. And I'm on the webpage right now. It is a May movie. It's May 24th for us.
Cool. Yeah.
Also, get it a day sooner.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, but that's all we got for our top 10 most anticipated movies 2024. It doesn't, on paper, 2023 looked just insane. Like, I mean, even movies and video games. 2024, it's not a reprieve, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like a normal year.
Yeah, a couple high highs, but like, yeah.
It feels like a normal, I can pace myself year. And I say that now, knowing full well come award season, I'll be like, son of a bitch, I got to see all these movies. I think even the guy who did Poor Things has another movie coming out. Like, I don't know.
Movie festivals will happen, and things will get distribution, and we'll get a 1,000 more dates for 1,000 more movies. So it's just like we're far from knowing.
By the way,
what it all looks like.
I'm glad we're doing this now, because I did get tickets for Sundance.
Nice.
It's way more expensive this year. It's kind of stupid, but and way fewer online options. So the pricing makes less sense. But I did still manage to secure enough tickets to see the award winners at the end of the festival and pick through a bunch of ones that are already screening.
Nice.
Because usually the award winners are ones that did not screen online, and they pick a winner and then they make it online for that weekend.
That's cool. Yeah, nice.
But yeah, apparently Chiwetel Ejiofor directed a movie, and it's going to be on Sundance. I'm going to see that. Yeah. Got a good cast in there. So this is the perfect podcast for this stuff, dude. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Forgot about that. It's gonna be fun. But that's pretty much what you're talking about with those movies. If they're successful, some of them are shit. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I've seen a few Sundance movies where I'm like,
Jeff has seen plenty of gay cowboys eating pudding, as South Park would say. So
yeah, exactly.
That's all indie festivals are. Just a bunch of movies about gay cowboys eating pudding.
Exactly.
What a random thing. That whatever. Yeah. Everyone knows there wasn't pudding back in the cowboy days. Come on.
Come on, man.
What are they even saying? Yeah.
They had soup, broth.
They had stew.
Yeah, stew. You want some stew?
I got tuberculosis.
Who's stew? Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Current Cinema. Next time we'll be back at some point in January, because I only have a handful of movies I want to see before I fully curate my list for the podcast's sake.
I really do want to do that Rebel Moon episode, so maybe we convene sooner rather than later while the hate is raw and recent. Or the love, I don't know.
I might actually...
I don't want to spoil it for everybody.
Rewatch it and take notes.
You know what? I'm literally gonna take pictures of our chat and I'm gonna save them. So
okay, that's good.
A little preview, guys. We watched that movie about 30 to 45 minutes. He started it and I started about 30, 45 minutes. And for the entire runtime of that movie, he and I were chatting about that movie. I will let your imaginations. I will let your imaginations run wild about how that chat went.
Yeah.
We gave plenty of clues.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, I would love to talk at length about
he's
how
a fulfilling prophecy, that Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
it's all about like
he's something
playing victim, and then he puts out a bad movie, and you're like, well, I mean, what do you expect? Like, I mean,
right,
you're doing it to yourself, dude.
They are out in droves, though, those Snyder cultists who are just like, the most beautiful movie I've seen all year. Just and you know what? We might think the same thing. I don't know. You're gonna have to wait and listen.
Oh my God, it's just coming off of a movie that's much more grounded, at least like world building wise, conceptually. Poor Things, and for it to use its CG the way it did so smartly to make paintings-esque backgrounds that you're like, I can't believe that's CG. It looks so freaking good, and like blah blah blah. It blends with the environment so well. Like you can take a screenshot of any one frame and it's a painting.
Yeah.
And then to go to Rebel Moon, which is just more grays and more blues and more oranges.
It's a CG fuck fest of 2 or 3 colors for sure.
Right. Yeah. And the sets that are practical look like TV sets. To me, at least on my TV, it looked like TV sets. It just didn't.
I mean, we have the same TV, so we saw the same sets. I would definitely say that they were very sci-fi-y.
Yeah. They could have used the volume. Couldn't reach out
like
to
sci-fi as in like the channel, not the genre.
SYFY.
Yeah, SYFY. Yeah, that one.
Suck yourself, F yourself. I think that's what that
means. Oh, boy, yeah. That was kind of the mood I was in after watching Rebel
Yeah,
Moon,
exactly.
So, yeah.
I like how every time we brought up something else that the movie reminded us of, we were like, rather be watching that.
Yeah. Should be rewatching that than watching this. Yeah. Damn, that movie. That was
really. Yeah, you're right.
It was.
You're right. We do have to talk about it.
It's such a journey of. God damn. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll reconvene to discuss that one first, especially because that'll be at least that'll be a little more relevant and like stuff like that.
Maybe we'll get some extra clicks for being relevant.
Yeah. There we go. Boom.
I hope I make a Snyder fan like cry. Like that's kind of my goal. That's
a life goal right there.
Yeah.
But after that, at some point, we'll do our top 10 of the year. Even if we end up doing it in February, don't care. It's on our timeline. Don't care.
Yeah.
So I really don't.
I'll take notes and watch it again if it waits that long. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually really tempted to do that. Not right now, but like at some point.
Yeah. It's too recent.
Too close. Way too close, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, go follow us somewhere. I don't know. I'm not even on Twitter or anything, so I don't really care if you follow me or not.
I don't even know what Twitter is.
Or whatever. Go find us. Go find the Current Cinema on your podcast, wherever you get your podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, and if you're not watching on YouTube, go find us on YouTube under the Current Gen Podcast YouTube channel and subscribe and mash that like button, dude. Let me tell you something about Like Brothers, dude. That helps the algorithm, dude. At least it helps us in the algorithm. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening and.